Hello folks, I hope that you're having a great day today and keeping yourself safe in our modern COVID world. Today I want to take a look at the Hound, which is another story that oftentimes people think is the first Cthulhu Mythos story. And the reason, we'll take a look at a little bit why, but we'll be doing a quick review of it. It's in my collection here, which I will link to you in the comments below in case you want to read it. I'll also find you a free version of it online in case you want to just read it without paying the money. If you prefer to read it online from the sitting of your computer just right now. It's incredibly short. I reread it just a few days ago, and so I really do enjoy it. So let's do a quick little synopsis of the Hound for you. So the Hound is going to open up with our main character, and the framing device of this is that he is considering committing suicide because of some dark thing that has just happened to his friend St. John, which I assume is his last name. He never gives him a first name, and St. John is obviously a common last name, so I assume it's the last name of our main character in this case. But anyway, something bad and dark has just happened to St. John, and you're going to find out what happens to St. John over the course of the story. But that's the framing device for the story. Now, you're going to find out that our protagonist is living in this place, and that he and his friend had gotten to a place where they were so seeking and needing a particular pushing themselves for more and more pleasures, becoming more and more blasé with what they were doing. So they turned to grave robbing, and they saw grave robbing not as this dark, evil thing that one would do all the time, but instead as this aesthetic choice. He would only do it when the moon was right, or under the proper music, proper lighting, and so forth. They would only do it at certain times, and only at the most aesthetically pleasing of those times. And the two of them will rob a number of places. They go to a place in Holland, and they find this really old graveyard there, and then they open it up, and they find this crypt and this a casket where the body isn't as decayed as the other bodies from this graveyard and other places have been, and on it is an amulet which they take. What is the amulet? What's going to happen to him? What happened to St. John? What will happen to our point of view character? I'll leave you to that. You can read the story in order to find out. Now, this is written early on in Lovecraft's career. It reads more like a heavy Poe story than it does a Dunsany story or Lovecraft's more take on it. It's got a lot of sort of grim, dark language that you would attribute to the story. It's well done. It's well crafted. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It's incredibly strong. According to some people, the Hound may be considered in certain places. For example, mine is in my copy of The Dreams of Terror and Death. This is a copy of all the Dreamlands works by Lovecraft, and sometimes it'll be published in that, but I don't think it is in the Dreamland section. It doesn't read like it. I mean, it's set in Holland and England. It doesn't seem like it has a place where they have they had to enter a dream to enter it or something like that, and so forth. Now, some people consider this to be the first true Lovecraft mythos story, and the reason for that is that because the mythos is a shared element, and this story name drops the Mad Arab Abdul al-Hazrab. It introduces the book, the Necronomicon. It also introduces the Plateau of Ling, which is a major place in the Cthulhu mythos as well. These things, the writer of the Necronomicon was introduced in a previous story called The Nameless City, which we already reviewed for you in my most recent review. But this story, on the other hand, adds the elements of the Necronomicon and so forth. So why would you consider this to be the first true mythos story? Well, the mythos is a shared universe, and you can't have a shared universe until the second story. Otherwise, it's just a single story. This is the first shared universe. It also creates the Necronomicon, which is the iconic work and fictional work in the Cthulhu mythos. So it also adds to that as well. So a lot of folks consider the Hound to be the first true mythos story. It's also, the Nameless City might not. It's set in the Arabian Peninsula, but again, a lot of people think that it's in the Dreamlands. The Doom that came in the Sarnath, which I argue is the first Cthulhu mythos story, is also something that people think is in the Dreamland. So, is it in the Cthulhu mythos or not? Is also, but this one again, it's clear. It's set in England. It's set in Holland. It's not in these other places. So whatever you think is the case. I'll link you below to the video where I argue that the Doom that came to Sarnath is the actual first story of the Cthulhu Mythos, and run through the various arguments for the other 3 stories, and why I actually think that they are not the first story of the Mythos, and we can take a deep dive therein. So there you are. I'll leave you to it. Have you read The Hound? What did you think of it? Did you like it or dislike it? I'm happy to engage you with it further in the comments below. If you want to talk about any spoilers in there that I didn't talk about, I'm happy to talk about those as well. If you liked this video, please feel encouraged to hit that subscribe button. There's going to be so many more of these to follow. And finally, hey, I just want to thank you for taking some time out of your day and investing in my video. Because we all have so many things happening in our lives and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I really do appreciate it. So thanks again, and have a great day.